let's have a look at Jimmy Kimmel. We won't play every news story in the world. This is the classic Streisand effect here. Every news story in the world is featuring Jimmy Kimmel as part of their headlines tonight because this is a person who has become a bit of a example to the rest of certainly America as to how Trump's White House and Trump's government is tutoing with free speech, is hampering free speech. And I'm not going to play any of the news stories. I think we'll just play some of Jimmy Kimmel and seeing what he's talking about. So this is about a 2.5 minute bit, and then we've got 2 very short bits to play after that. But this 2.5 minute bit is really, he sets out what has happened and the hypocrisy within the Trump team as to pulling him off stage.
Should the government be allowed to regulate which podcasts the cell phone companies and Wi-Fi providers are allowed to let you download to make sure they serve the public interest?
It's a great example. It's a great example. Should the government be able to tell Apple those ones have to come off because we don't like them? It's a great example.
You think that sounds crazy? 10 years ago, this sounded crazy. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, telling an American company, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and that these companies can find ways to change conduct and take action on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. In addition to being a direct violation of the First Amendment, is not a particularly intelligent threat to make in public. Ted Cruz said he sounded like a mafioso. Although, I don't know, if you want to hear a mob boss make a threat like that, you have to hide a microphone in a deli and park outside in a van with a tape recorder all night long. This genius said it on a podcast. Brendan Carr is the most embarrassing Carr Republicans have embraced since this one. And that's saying something.
The original joke I was going to say got him in trouble. He wasn't in trouble. The original joke was very, very, very clever. Talking about the fourth stage of grief is construction. It's a really good joke. It's very clever. Yeah. And there's a couple in this which are absolute bangers as well. Yeah. Maybe not quite so much that one, but there's a couple I'm going to play for you through the way, which are absolute bangers, whether they're from him or his writing team. It's good work at the moment from these guys. Real good work.
The FCC has a tradition of meddling where they shouldn't under many administrations, but it wasn't always like this. There was an FCC commissioner back in 2022 who worked under Joe Biden who was spot on. He wrote, President Biden is right. Political satire is one of the oldest and most important forms of free speech. It challenges those in power while using humor to draw more people into the discussion. That's why people in influential positions have always targeted it for censorship. You know who wrote that? FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr, who later was appointed chairman of the FCC by this former crusader for free speech.
If we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple, just like dominoes, one by one. They'll go down.
That was also in 2022. And I wonder, how did that guy turn into this guy?
Who would you like to see replace Kimmel on late night?
Well, a lot of people, anybody could replace him. Guy had no talent. Kimmel he was fired, he had no talent. He's a whack job, but he had no talent. And more importantly than talent, he had no, because a lot of people have no talent, they get ratings. But he had no ratings.
Well, I do tonight.
That's very true as well. Now, one of the more interesting things about this, Sean, is that the lie that was getting told by Republicans who were supporting this, and people on the right, commentators and stuff, was, oh, this is just business practice. They're taking them off. Yeah, it's a financial business decision. It's got nothing to do with Trump, nothing like that. Except what's happened is it's the exact opposite. It's completely to do with Trump, and it's completely to do with pressure being put on by the government to get him taken off here as to why he got taken off. The reason he got brought back on was a complete business decision. The number of people who cancelled Hulu, who cancelled Disney Plus, their stock dropped $4 billion. So it's probably one of the first times in recent history you've seen someone getting removed unfairly from a network or from a job, who the public then went, and because of the financial decisions the public made, that's why he's back on. I've got a very, before you respond, I'm giving you the ball, but I'm going to say, because this is one of the places he did a very good joke. This is only 30 seconds, right? So just got that. The reason that he came back was financial. And this was a banger of a joke as well.
Now, a lot of people have been asking me if there are conditions for my return to the air, and there is one. Disney has asked me to read the following statement, and I've agreed to do it. Here we go. To reactivate your Disney Plus and Hulu account, open the Disney Plus app on your smart TV or TV-connected device.
That is a good joke. Again, a banger.
Yeah.
That's a great one. And actually, you know, a lot of comedy, not all comedy, but most comedy that people really enjoy is close to the truth. It's close to the truth that so many people cancelled and so many people turned off that the joke he just made had truth. So I've got another clip to play about him getting emotional around Charlie Kirk. But Sean, the ball is yours. What are your thoughts?
So I don't want to harp on too much. I think a lot of people learnt this week something that those who may be more politically dialed in learned about 8 years ago with a man named Merrick Garland. I promise I'm going somewhere with this. Merrick Garland, for the uninitiated, he in 2016, the Supreme Court Justice Anthony Scalia passed away. Obama got to pick the next Supreme Court justice. He chose a man named Merrick Garland. The Republicans blocked that nominee, citing that it was the last year of Obama's presidency, so they should wait till after the election. After the election, then identical circumstances happened 4 years later.
Hang on, not even identical, because it was 9 to 10 months before Obama was going to go. It was literally a few weeks before Trump was going to go. So there was like a full year build up. The other one, there was like a month build up. So it's not quite the same, but keep going.
Good point. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg passes away. And the same Republicans who said, no, you should wait for the presidential election, turned on it on a dime, and they were shameless about it. Mitch McConnell famously said, different rules. Said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, no, we're just not going to do it this time around. I learned something that day, and it was, they know they're hypocrites. They know they're hypocrites. They don't care. They're shameless. These are the same guys who for over a decade have been harping on about free speech this, free speech that. The moment that they actually employ the very thing that they have been shouting about for years, the moment they do it, it all goes out the window for most of them, not all of them. Kimmel does give credit to the voices that dissented against Trump, the right-wing voices, the Ben Shapiro's and Joe Rogan's of the world, and Ted Cruz's, who seemed to, muster up what little principle they had. But that's an important takeaway to get from this, guys. If you want to attack them on hypocrisy, know that it's not going to stick. Know that they don't care. They simply don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it's very, very true. It's it's this idea of how the left versus how the right play, and how that there are a lot of people who want to support the left who want mongrel. They're sick of watching the mongrel on the right. Get to the end of that game with missing teeth and bloody wrists, and because they've just been fighting and scrapping, and they want to see a bit of it on the left.
But just one more thing. One quote that I think has done irreparable damage to the left was in 2012 when Michelle Obama stood up at the Democratic National Convention and said, "When they go low, we go high." Yeah. No. Yeah. When they go low, we need to go lower.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think I agree with Michelle Obama in an ideal world, right? But we're not living in that world, which is why I think that put it this way. I've never seen the left do it. I'd like to see them give it a crack and then see how the outcome goes.
Well,
we'll play this last clip from Jimmy Kimmel now. Now, I first want to reset this up by saying a couple of things. The first is there is lies being told about Kimmel as to what he said. The lies that are being told about Kimmel by MAGA is that he said the shooter was MAGA. He never said that. What he said was MAGA's trying to run away from this guy and make sure everyone's aware he's not one of them. That's what he said. Yeah. And that's true because you know what? MAGA was doing that. So were the Democrats. Everyone was running away saying not ours, not ours, not ours. So what he actually said was truthful. And what he did was tell a joke about Trump.
Yeah.
That joke about Trump, which was, you remember it, he was standing in front of his helicopter and people were like, oh, how are you holding, the press like, how are you holding up, Mr. President? And he's like, yeah, fine, look at my ballroom. And so the joke was, the fourth stage of grief is construction. It's a very good joke.
Very good joke.
He didn't say what they said he did. And I think he's taken slight umbrage in this. I would too if I was you, Jimmy Kimmel, because he shares here for about 60 seconds on that comment and what he had previously said about Charlie Kirk and his wife. And he gets a bit emotional, but we'll play the full 60 seconds of it for you because, yeah, let's set the record straight. If nothing else, let's be accurate. Even when we're wrong, accuracy is important. We're not wrong in this instance, but let's be accurate.
But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it. I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make. But I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear or maybe both. And for those who think I did point the finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
So that was the response specifically to. He says later on as well in that it's like a 30-minute piece on YouTube if you want to go see it. He says later on, he actually says what Erica Kirk said was what we should all do when she forgave the shooter. Now, I know people out there will roll their eyes and they'll think MAGA, whatever, weird, blah, blah, blah. But the premise of what he was saying, I think I agree with as well. It's like, some people are going to say what Erica Kirk did was performative. Maybe it was. I don't know. But the words she used and what she put out there of forgiveness is a much healthier place to be than making up lies about someone and saying something horrific that they've said when they never said it. So I think forgiveness is the right path. Forgiveness and empathy are the places to go, even though we all know Charlie Kirk didn't believe in empathy because he told us. But that's still the place to go. Sean?
I'm inclined to agree. I think something that kind of speaks to Erica Kirk's intentions is that she could have called for blood in that moment the same way that Trump was calling for blood at that very memorial service. The same way that many people on Fox News, many people in the media, Elon Musk, Jesse Waters, basically the guys who are going to be the last people to pick up a gun or pick up a stick to fight. She could have called for violence. She could have, stoked the flames. She chose not to. Whether or not it was performative, I think there is a discussion to be had. But I was happy to hear it, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I'm the one who's got the world's worst algorithm in this group right now, but I get all the worst things in the world. And I watched in its entirety the Erica Kirk message like 36 hours after he'd died, her husband had died, and there was more venom in that. But dude, grace. Because and I wonder if there's been a mulling over. I wonder if it's before. It doesn't actually matter what it is. But she had a different tone at the service than she did certainly 36 hours later.